Hey dudes, what's up? My name is Levente and this is Autistic Success. And I am back again after my disappearance. I'm sorry for that. I think I told you last time that I did move a few months back to the Lake Geneva, which I love. And I have undergone since a huge mental update. I figured out a lot of things and I have discovered a lot of things about myself, and also a lot of things have fallen into place since then. And this is what I want to talk about today. It is the fact that starting a small business is autistic self-empowerment. So I think I mentioned that I am just about to start my small business. Um, and basically, I'm also at the same time about to quit my long-time career as a chemist, which started like 15 years ago when I started university. I also did a PhD, so I spent quite some time in academia, also in industry, and now I'm working in industry as an R&D leader, which used to be my dream job. And at the same time, I don't think I've ever been this miserable as working this job, which is actually very comfortable, very well paying, and super boring, and super not satisfying, I would say. So my biggest issue, and I think this probably is the biggest issue for most autistics, especially for those who I know, with working corporate 9 to 5 jobs, is the fact that you have to act and mask the whole day, all day, every week, the whole year, and every year. And it's not going to be any better. In fact, it's going to get even worse, because the higher you climb, or you want to climb the corporate ladder, the more you are expected to mask. So if you are working on the line somewhere like in a shop, you're probably actually much freer than working as a manager. And the higher you climb, unless you are the CEO who owns the company, then because then you can do a lot of things. If you are in some middle management or management position, you will need to mask insane levels, which I think is simply impossible for most autistics. Definitely impossible for me. I cannot do it, or actually I can do it, but I am destroying myself by doing it, and I hate it. And this is why I basically realized that I don't have future in the corporate world, which is a huge relief. It's also a huge crisis at the same time, because I'm throwing away basically what I worked for in the past 10, 15 years. But at the same time, I'm starting a small company, completely unrelated, and I've never been this motivated my whole life. So this is why I wanted to make this video, to give you some motivation, I would say, and support, because I am starting a small company in a completely unrelated field. Basically, I would say in the field of pastries, sweets, chocolates, whatever. Nothing with chemistry, or at least very little. And I don't think I've ever felt such a flow, such motivation, and such investment as I am feeling now with my company, which is going to be a lot of work. It's already been a lot of work, also some money, some investment. But it's insane, because by building your own company, what I am feeling is that I am about to set free from these insanely crippling levels of masking, adapting, acting, uh, and simply this slavery of corporate lies or lives. Because the biggest problem, I think, in any corporate 9 to 5 job is the fact that you have to mask the whole day, you have to act, and also, especially for autistics, you have to work according to somebody else's frame, rules, ideas, and boundaries. And basically, for me, and this is probably the most exhausting, besides masking, is constantly trying to figure out how somebody wants to do a task done, which way, how good, how quick. It should be good enough, but not too good. It should be not bad enough, or not too bad, but it shouldn't be better than that of other colleagues. It shouldn't be quicker than that of other colleagues. It's always being basically trying to completely dumb yourself down and adapting yourself to the pace and quality and workload of other people, which is insanely difficult. This is basically the antithesis of being an autistic person, where you have an insanely extreme skill set, and you can do extreme qualities and extreme workloads extremely quickly, and then after that, for a few days or weeks, you do nothing because you're exhausted. So working corporate 9 to 5 job is the antithesis. It's the opposite, exact opposite of working in an autistic way, and it's just impossible. This is what I feel, and this is why I feel so miserable at my corporate job, because every day I am trying to figure out how quick, how much. It shouldn't be too apparent. It shouldn't be too good. It shouldn't be too bad either. So basically, 90% of your work is masking and trying to adapt to other people's workload and work pace, which is insanely exhausting. And this is why I'm feeling now that starting my own company, all these factors that I just mentioned, they instantaneously disappear immediately. There is nothing. There is no more of that. Your only boss is going to be the market, which is a tough boss. It's true. But I do believe for myself, and this is also my experience for other autistics who I see, for instance, even my mother, that we can always strive to be better. We can always adapt to be better. We can always make our service or product better. It's not a problem. The problem is we want to do it the way we want to do, or we can do, and we cannot do it the other way around. We cannot do it according to the way somebody else wants that to be done. And so this huge issue is being immediately eliminated, and this is such a huge relief that, as I've mentioned, I'm feeling like I'm being reborn at the moment. I'm getting like a second lease on life, because it's hugely relieving, and it's like a level of freedom I couldn't ever imagine my whole life. And this is why I do believe that autistic people should think about entrepreneurship or creating a small company or any type of service or freelancing, even handyman jobs, because you don't have to mask and adapt pretty much at all, or at least very, very little. Because you can, yes, obviously your customers are going to have expectations, but you can work in your own pace and the way you want to and according to your structures, and you don't have to mask because probably you're going to be working alone or at home. So it's insanely relieving of all the stress, and it's giving an insane level of freedom with a huge amount of responsibility too, of course. But and this is why I wanted to make this video. I think every autistic should think about this, because I don't think a corporate 9 to 5 life is suitable for any autistic person, for reasons I mentioned. And this is why I wanted to share this little video, because I hope I can give you some motivation. So I am really actually interested and keen on hearing your stories and comments on this. I don't know if everybody else has had the same experience as me, but this is definitely my experience, and this is also the experience of a few autistic people I know, for instance, in my family. Yeah, so it's a big deal. It's a huge relief. It's a huge life hack, I would say. And every autistic person, I think, should think about becoming independent and working for themselves, because it's a next level of quality of life. So that was my idea for today. I promise I'm going to be back now regularly. I figured out a lot of things, and my moving and everything is done. So I guess take care and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.